All right, we are live. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us this morning. It's the NDILC principle number 3, Believe, with a certified delegate spokeswoman. And look at Vanessa's with a certified delegate spokeswoman logo. Yeah!
Love it.
Today's color is, if I could get this right, today's color is yellow, as you see. Love it, love it, love it. And so today, our thoughts are out with Mickey. Unfortunately, she could not host the call today, so we are going to have Jennifer. She is coming from the East Coast. Half of us are on the West Coast, and half of us on the East Coast to host our call today.
Half my day is over with already.
Lucky you.
That's right. The wine's already coming out. We haven't even started yet. So we kicked this off real quickly with the Believe song that she brought from Taylor Swift. And I'd like to turn it over to Jennifer. What did you do this summer and what was that like to start this off?
Okay. What did I do this summer? What did we all do this summer? Well, Jen Raspini was on the beach. I love being on the water. I grew up on the water and I'm a Caribbean queen. I love the sunshine. And yes, I don't own anything yellow really, except I found this today in my closet somewhere. And it's appropriate for today. And so what my thing about when I think of the word believe, I believe you have to be prepared before you can believe in something. You have to, it has to have meat. You can't just say I'm going to believe in something if you don't have legs. They have to, just keep moving on and saying like, okay, I believe I'm going to do such and such, and it doesn't happen. Like, I didn't do that. I believe that I was going to own my own business, and I didn't know what it was going to look like. But one morning I got up after having a child and I realized I needed to be back into the work mode. And he had a lot of food allergies. So what was going to be the best thing for me to do so that I can stay home with him, enjoy him, and work? And real estate was what I found. And I have not, it's been great for me and my child. He just graduated from college and to get his new car yesterday. And so it's been a wonderful journey for me. I own a real estate brokerage here in Westport, Connecticut, and I specialize in the default industry. And everyone said, "Oh, you can't do it. It's a guy's world. You'll never get to do REO." And I end up owning, having the 4th largest contract in the country doing REO. And I believe in myself. Yes, I sold over 1,500 homes. They said, "Oh, you can't do it. You really need agents." No, I did not do it with agents. So I was way ahead of virtual assistants. My virtual assistants I had for 15 years ago. So I had all admins, and I know that I didn't want to work forever and to keep doing the same thing, because being an REO broker and selling real estate is really, 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 it's hard. You can't just half the time, like, I can't be in these pretty things. I can't, because I have to climb through windows. I have to decide if I'm going to do cash, somebody actually going to spit on me or have their dog meet me instead of them actually, meeting with me. So I had a lot of weird things to do, but I believe that there was a reason why I was doing that. Why am I doing it? Because at some point, I was going to have all the things that's going to make me happy and complete. And we're never complete if it's not for you. You can't be complete if you're doing it for somebody else. And mine was, I like the simple things in life. I just like a t-shirt, pair of shorts, or a sweatpants, and always wear my pearls. And as long as I'm on the beach, I'm good. And also, I believe that we should be empowered, and we not have to worry about somebody else taking care of us. I'm married, but my husband knows that I do what I want to do. And that's important. We have to be empowered. We can't worry about, oh, this, that, and the other. So everything that I've owned belongs to me, although everything he owns belongs to us.
I love that independence.
Yes, and that works for me. I have a son Here, oh, he's walking by. Say hi, Chris. He just got a really nice job at, I won't say the company, and he's in finance and he's having a ball. So he was able to purchase his own car yesterday because I believe when it was time for him to be independent and go for it, he can do it. He was able to pay for everything yesterday. So I was like, now it's my turn. I nurtured and everything, and I'm just ready to, there's so much more I have to do. And I'm ready to do it. For the whole 2020, I was drifting. But while I was drifting, I was realizing that it felt really good drifting sometimes. And it was on my my timetable and not, my asset managers calling me and saying, oh, you got to do this and you do that. No, I realize now that I can be at home and I could get more done than when I was actually in my office, although I still have my office, and running after everything that my asset manager said, oh, you got to do this and you got to do that. I realized now time management, it's about me. And so that's why I'm here today. And I believe that you should invest in yourself, and it has to be intentional when you do that.
I was gonna say, I posted this on my wall yesterday on Facebook, but I says, when someone says you can't do it twice and take pictures.
I love it.
And I put down believe NDILC principle because that's what this is about. It's what the mind can conceive, it can achieve. So
yes,
it is a powerful envelope that we all have different journeys and different thoughts, but the end game is what? To have a better quality of life. So
yep, the best is yet to come.
Angie, you got, yeah, I know you have to have a quick one here. So
that's true. I love what you had to say, Jennifer. And I think that that was something that I also experienced last summer was just, it's okay to drift for a little while. And that was my road trip. It had purpose, but I was doing things on my timetable. And if you don't believe in yourself, then you're not going to be able to make those boss decisions, and you're just going to get pinballed around by everyone. So it's just so important to have that like inside of you, that faith and that belief and in knowing your purpose and where you're going. And sometimes it's okay to take time along the way to smell the flowers, right, you guys? And I think too, one of the things that's just, it kind of strikes me is how you believed in yourself even against the adversity. You had people telling you, no, you can't do it. No, no, no. Like, and back to my no is not an answer. It's simply your suggestion. But I think that it's back, believing and realizing that people are going to tell us no, and that's okay. It's not their path, it's ours, and we will walk whichever way we believe we should be walking.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Think about this. You've got Jennifer sitting on the beach all last year. I saw her in a kayak in the ocean. If you don't, there's an intercoastal waterway in the East Coast I never knew existed. And she's just out there on the water. You have Angie traveling the whole United States for a period of 4 or 5 months because she's renting out her home the whole time the pandemic's going, living out of car, living in friends' house, and going to her rentals and just traveling the United States. Desiree, would you like me to go by and look at your homes? Okay, sure, I'll be happy. Let me put it on my list. And then you have Vanessa sitting out here in wine country, Temecula and French Valley, enjoying her house. I mean, if you think about it, here in our group, we're all sitting here doing something that's completely out of the book because it's our moment to take advantage of that time to reset. So that's
right in the book.
Oh yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So Brandy, I know that you've had some fun things going on. So talk about that belief, your self-belief.
I think belief is huge. Whatever you believe is true. So if you believe that you can't do it, then you can't do it. If you believe that you can, you can. So I think belief is a huge thing. And it's also that inner talk. We all have inner talk, and what you're telling yourself is also true. So if you're telling yourself a lot of bad things, then that's what you're actually believing. So make sure if you believe in something, say it, believe it. It's true. I could do this. We will do this. everything's great, even if you had some bad times this last couple of weeks. But, it'll still be good. So I think belief is huge. I explain that to my kids all the time. I have a 4 and a 7-year-old, and it's the same thing with them. They're not allowed to use the word can't. So can't isn't, that word is not allowed in our house. That's a bad word. And that's because if you don't think you could do something, then you can't do it. So I think belief is huge, and it's a great topic, and it's really something that people need to think more. Your words, and even inside your head, even if you don't speak them out loud, are extremely important to what we tell ourselves.
Can't's a 4-letter word, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I tell my kids that all the time too. I have 2 boys, and in this house, can't does not exist.
Yeah.
And no, I liked what you said, Angie, too, and Jennifer. No is just a suggestion. The only no that I like is my initials, Nancy Ovando. That's the N-O.
Oh, I love it. Oh my goodness. Pretty clever.
But you know, believing, I do have to jump off before the end, but I just wanted to jump in just right now, just because I think that one of the biggest factors of success is self-esteem. And for self-esteem, you need to believe in yourself. You know, it's not everyone's job to believe in you. You have to believe in yourself first and showcase that. I mean, there's plenty of times where I said no, or plenty of times where people didn't believe in me, or they put me in a box. You know, this is the box that you fit in. And you know, I refuse to accept that. I refuse to fit in a box that you want to put me in, unless it's pretty, maybe. But you know, but I do think that it starts with believing. I don't always have a plan. I'll be honest with you. I don't always have a plan on how something's going to be achieved. I just really truly envision what I want. And somehow, I don't know if it's the universe or just me really believing in what I want to accomplish, it happens. Like maybe someone that comes my way, you know, will help me get to that goal, or I learn something new. Somehow, I think the universe sometimes conspires to make things happen for you when you have the mindset and you believe and you put that energy out there.
Serendipity.
Yes.
It's alignment, mind over matter. You know, there's the miracles of people who've survived various serious illnesses or near-death experiences or accidents. And they say there's no physical way you could pick up that car. There's no physical way you could overcome things like that. And that's where the mind over matter, if you can achieve, you have to think about, you have to have positive vibes to get that done. So when people ask you to pray or people ask you to really energize, it's because your body can reset. And it has to come from here. So
yes,
negative thoughts and negative mind. So everything is fantastic. So Nina, I see you over there in Miami, girl. I mean, you're living the life. So you have an expansion of your job. It's gone crazy. And all of us are like working, you know, 18 hours a day. Angie sends me an email at 2:30 in the morning. Oh yeah, just we're gonna get it done. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So the idea is that we're all exceptionally busy. We're all trying to manage so much going on. What logistically work, what's not. So how do we prioritize to the belief of that we can get it done, or where do we go? And Nina, we talked last night about the craziness of what's going on in your world. I mean, I can see it in your smile.
Yeah, I mean, it's so just to give everyone background. So I manage partnerships for now Home Services of America, but I took over the partnership program at one of the smaller companies. It's not a very small company, but it's one of the smaller ones called HSF. And, you know, going back to the word believe, when I took over that partnership program, I actually put something on my vision board that said, I'm going to grow this program to a certain level, right? That was my belief in myself that I was going to get to this point, right? And I focused on that every day. And I think that believing that the program was going to get to this level created the willpower in myself to work to get it to that level, right? And I think believing in yourself gets you past the roadblocks that happen in life, right? Because we all know that life is not a Disney movie And we're not all Disney princesses, although we act like it, right?
Yeah.
But believing in ourselves helps us get past those roadblocks, right? Like Jennifer, what you said, right? You believe that you wanted to get into this certain sector, and all those roadblocks came to you, but because you believed in yourself, you had the willpower to get yourself to that point, right? And so going back to our conversation yesterday, right, Desiree, I focused on it for the last 2 years, and it's just crazy how it just all came together, and it was very unexpected. But I think that when you put enough energy into something and you believe in it and you have the willpower to work for it, it happens. And so this year I was granted this great promotion, and now I'm managing partnerships for the parent company, Home Services. Did I ever think that would ever happen? No, but I knew that it was going to grow, right? And I didn't know how, to Nancy's point, right? But I knew that it was going to get there. And believing yourself, I think, is where it starts. There's a great quote, and I think you kind of touched on it, Desiree, by Napoleon Hill. If my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, then I can achieve it. And yes, it's a little cliche, right? Because all these quotes, we get all these quotes, right? But I think that it definitely starts there, believing in yourself, and then everything else comes together.
I think music is probably one of the best, and thank you for that, Nina. I think one of the greatest things you can do, like we were playing the song that Jennifer picked up from Believe before, it just resonates. You have to get your mind and body and endorphins into a state of, I've got this. And to do that, sometimes we need to have outside influences, hence the tribe. That's why you see these are so powerful. You know, is the end game to get, $1 zillion in new business? The end game is to have quality of life, if to reset ourselves, our mind, our spirit, and from them, things and opportunities come, because you learn new things about people, you learn new experiences, and then you go, wow, this is a perfect setting to go with that, because we're trying to humanize ourselves now. Before we were trying to digitize ourselves. Now we're stepping back and say we want to go back to humanize ourselves with the technology to really embrace, right? And that's powerful. So thank you very much for that, Nina. I think it was wonderful. So Angie, I know you have to, all of us are having crazy schedules, and thank you all for your time on this. So Angie, let's talk about, you had Homeownership Day, which really transcended what you're doing. But now, if you think about it, that homeownership piece is so much more of working in your home and that development, and you're that living example of that. So talk about what that's like.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess it comes down to just believing in myself through home ownership. And that's part of the reason why I sell real estate, you guys, because when I bought my first condo when I was 19 years old, and nobody believed in me, nobody wanted to work with me, but I knew that I could do this. And it was something that, home ownership day was just a product of me believing in myself and seeing what can be achieved when you own a home for a decent amount of time, and wanting to share that with everybody else out there. And now through Home Ownership Day, we're bringing it into people's homes. And what's so neat to me is I think the real secret sauce on Believe, you guys, is when you can make someone else believe. And that's what Home Ownership Day is doing. And that's the level that I want to operate from, is not just, I believe in myself and I'm so cool. I want you to believe in yourself because you interacted with me. So I
think that's a beautiful saying, and it's your sanctuary. That's why we came up with it for home ownership, right? It's your whole, it's your ability to reset your mind, reset your body, reset more than ever. And to Jennifer's point, her home is the ocean. It is the world she lives on. So, and everyone, now we're gonna be living in space. Now we're gonna be living on Mars, or wherever, with SpaceX and X Prize and everything else. So, yeah, right. And so our goal is, and nano clouds and all that crazy stuff that's going on, but that is our heart of being able to exist and love and embrace and go with that. So thank you. And that keep achieving we had last month, we talked about how it was, do we do it? Is it going to be there? And you were struggling, and now look at it. It's growing and growing and growing. And everywhere I go, I talk about it. Everything I say is, man, we said this is going to happen. Look. And everyone's pushing. And Vanessa's saying, give me the matrix. I want to see that. Well, that's a leadership quality to bring that together to say, I need to see proof. Why aren't you showcasing and highlighting what you're doing?
Yeah.
Right?
Great synergy, you guys. Before I log off, I will just say, I believe that I'm going to get this listing.
We believe it
Take
too,
care,
Angie.
ladies.
Yes.
And we'll do it. Thank you, Angie.
We send all the energy with you.
Yes, that's right. Vanessa,
Yes.
believe.
So what I
Self-belief. I said
I wanted to
self-belief for
share-
you.
Yes, but I'm a storyteller by nature. So I read a book, I'm an avid reader, and one that really spoke to me was The Year of Yes. And it's by Shonda Rhimes. She came out of this years ago. But when I opened up the book, she's like, I'm the best liar in the world. I was like, wait, what's going on? And basically, 1 year, she's a writer. So she has all this creative thoughts with, Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with Murder. I mean, this lady is dynamite as a writer, and in ABC. Well, anyway, she's done, she also did that new one, Bridgertown, or the new Netflix. But she's just an incredible creative writer, but she has that confidence. But for the longest time, she would always say no. She's very reclusive, very private. So she switched her mindset, and she said the year of yes. So she went to school at Dartmouth, and they asked her to be the keynote speaker. And right away, she instinctively said no. But through this 1 year of journey of opening up more possibilities and believing in herself, she started saying yes to a lot of things.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, before you know it, she was saying yes to many more events, many more speaking events like Jimmy Kimmel. And with that, she gained that self-confidence, that inner belief. And not only was she more visible out in the community, but she lost weight. She had that self-confidence. And so when I read that, I was like, the year of yes, love that. So before you say no, like Nancy, her NO, I like that too, Nancy Obando. You have to say yes. Believe in yourself, have that inner desire and that self-confidence that comes from when no one's here to judge you. You believe in you, you stay in your lane and focus on you. What other people do, what other people say, it's just noise. It's not important. It's what comes from your heart, what is genuine and what is pure. So just have that self-belief that anything is possible. Yes, there's going to be obstacles. To Nina's point, we're not all princesses, and it's okay, but we have that inner strength to believe and just move forward. I remember one time when I was in elementary school, the boys were getting preferential treatment. Boys are better in math, they're better in science. And I remember I was really discouraged in the elementary school that I went up to my father, and my parents were definitely important in my life. And my dad's like, who said what? No. A woman is just as important. You are just as smart as anyone else. And I never will forget, because it's my parents' voice in my head all the time that they have, you can do anything. You can fly as high as you want. Sky's the limit. And so you just have to have that confidence to know that, yes, life is not, a bed of roses all the time. Yes, we're going through a pandemic, but together we're stronger. And as long as you believe in yourself, all is possible.
I love it, Vanessa. That's fantastic. And the storytelling is what this whole thing's about, is that the stories, because we see each other's way of presenting, their way of authentically explaining things, because you can take that story and go, to relate to that, when you talked about getting on Jimmy Kimmel and her talking and saying, oh yeah, I'll be a keynote speaker. Most of you know me, but the idea is at what level? The fear of me talking. Really? Desiree has a fear of talking. Are you kidding me? But the idea is, when I got the call 6 years ago to go into the family offices and actually represent the gender lens and get the impact to go with it, I was like, okay, oh yeah, why would you need gender lens in a family office? And I really started digging down and going, okay, is this, really legit? Is this, should I say yes? And when I looked at it, I said, oh my gosh, it is a perfect scenario. So here I am now in that space of dealing with the ultra high net worth, but the changing of the guard of how you do social impact, how you develop a community. I have the table saying, oh, technology, okay, we want to build this infrastructure when I want to change it. And I was like going, this is crazy. And that opportunity was because I said yes. Had I not said yes, my whole trajectory of who and what I do now would be completely different. So thank you for that, Vanessa. I love it. I love it. And then also real quickly, before I know, Brandy, you got to go, Teresa said on our last call on the NDILC principles about the vaccine. Think about the collaboration. We would never in the world in 10 years have a vaccine like we have for COVID. That took because all the countries got together, shared the data, and said, this is an end game we have to do. So this is what this is all about. We have to share it, no matter if we all are in the same neighborhood and same everything. That we
And
have
believe in each other that we can pull it off.
You got it. So Brandy, I know you have a great one.
I was just going to say to Vanessa's point about judging, it's usually not other people that are judging, it's us judging ourselves. So usually the judging is coming from ourselves. And that again goes back to that inner voice. So if we don't judge, we should not judge ourselves so harshly. We can do all this. We are great. Other people see us as great. You got to see yourself as great, as the same thing. So I know when you get the most judging, it's usually from yourself, not from other people.
Yes, belief looks great on everyone.
Mhm.
Well, think about something simple. How many of you have curly hair would like straight hair, and how many women would have straight hair would love curly hair?
I have curly hair and I wish I was straight this morning. I was like,
It's
I have
something
curly
simple.
hair for sure.
And when's the last time? Okay, so we all get together. Oh my God, you look great. Oh my God, I love that. Where'd you get it? When's the last time you said to someone on a digital format, oh, I love your hair. Oh, I love what you're doing. We all just see from here up.
yeah.
Well, let's start being complimentary to each other. Let's start being excited.
You like my curls?
I love it.
Girl.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
You look fabulous, darling.
I have to use a curling iron to get this stuff to come out. It
I
doesn't
know my
work.
mom has straight hair. And I used to look at her in the morning and she was like, come, let me comb your hair. And I was like, but I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be like yours. And she would try for hours and she doesn't know anything about curly hair. So the brush would just get tangled more and more and more. And then I could see her actually cutting my hair with the scissors. And so if you have curly hair, some would be up here, some would be down here, levels for many years. It was sad because my mom is a police and she had no idea what this hair was. It's curly. It's good. Let's just go.
Like,
So,
see?
yeah.
Yeah, those who are tall or short, those who are
Yeah.
thinner or bigger, whatever. Everyone wants to be something they don't have. That's
Yeah.
that yearning to get on the other side. So to Brandy's point, believe what you have, be
Yes.
thankful for what you have, and grow with what you
Yes.
have, and amplify what you have. And that's that self-belief of not having the little chip on your shoulder and having that get in your mind. And I think we go back to that music. We go back to that conversation to open up and talk, because if we
Yes.
harbor it within, we're not talking to that development.
Yes.
So it's like Brandy had a very, horrific situation the last couple of weeks. That's why she smiled. And, and she calls me up and she says, okay, you're an expert at this. And we talk. So the idea is that if you share your strengths and your weaknesses, we all grow. We all have a way to make it better, to get the development to go with it. So love it. So I know, Nancy, you need to jump real quick. And I love your coat. Oh my God, all the little ruffles on there. I think it's sexy. It's great. So
Thank
you're
you,
our
thank
princess
you.
today. So go ahead.
Just today?
I love it. See?
I said our princess. I didn't say only the princess.
Okay.
The other girls are getting jealous if I give them everything and they don't get me, okay?
Well, in my home, I am the only girl. I have only boys, and my husband. So in my home, I get to be the princess all the time.
I love it.
And I believe it. I really do.
Just really quick, my 4-year-old, when she is upset with us or she gets mad, she starts crying and she runs down the hallway and she goes, "You don't think I'm a princess anymore." So that's how she gets upset and tells us.
Well, the reason why I brought that up is, I don't know if I'm going to send everybody that article. There was an article about how Disney had made all these princess movies in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And it had created like a princess syndrome in younger women, right?
Mhm.
And so that's why I brought that up. It's not that, no, we're all queens here, but we're not princesses, we're queens. But what I'm saying is, a lot of us grew up with that kind of mindset, right? And it kind of is not real, because life is not perfect, right? and you're not always going to find a Prince Charming, right? And you know, there's going to be obstacles. And so there's a funny article that I'll send to everybody about like the whole Disney princess syndrome. But I think that believing in yourself, and like Nancy says, you know, she's the queen in her home, right? I think that belief is important, but I think it needs to be also something that is created through willpower, right? And through hard work. And, you know, it's not something that you're born with. It's something that, you know, you create by believing yourself, right? You become who you are by working and becoming it, right? You're just not, it just doesn't happen.
I didn't just wake up like this.
Yeah.
Magic wand, very nice, you know, Harry Potter. But okay, so think about this. Queen is a leadership, not just on the attributes on the outside, but the inside. So to act, to be strong, that queen has to be an inner strength in addition to the outer strength to do it. So it doesn't matter, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So what you imagine a queen to be, you know, and that's where we get into the modeling days. When I was a model for many years, you know, well, you have to lose weight. You have to this. Oh my gosh, your teeth aren't this, or you have this problem, that problem. Oh my God, I love this. Oh, you don't dye your hair? No, it's actually this way. So when I started dyeing it, they're like, what? Oh, you know, so everyone has this mental image of what that queen looks like or should be. And I believe it's a leadership quality from the inside. It resonates on the outside. And then whatever attributes you have, love them. Don't sit there and say, oh, this is not going to go, because that.
I agree. And then just to the point that you said about the Disney princess and the complex that it created for young women growing up about needing, you know, yes, I do believe I am a queen, but I do not need saving. I don't, you know, I appreciate it. I love someone to pump the gas for me. I hate doing that, but I could pump my own gas if I need to. Right. Exactly. I have my own career. I have my own mindset. And, you know, I believe that I am a leader, and I am an example to the boys in my house. And in fact, the fact that I carry myself as a queen of my house, it teaches them how they should be treating other women as well.
Yes. Amen to that. Yes.
I love that.
Yes. And I mean, you could see it in Frozen now. Disney has now kind of like gone backwards on that whole princess thing, because look at Frozen.
Yeah.
The princess in Frozen didn't need saving, right? Mm-hmm. She saved herself. And then Prince Charming is no longer Prince Charming. He's like a frog, right? So she had to believe in herself, right?
You're okay. It's all right.
I'm on a roll today, okay? This whole Disney thing.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so there you go. Media, entertainment has directed us to what we have been learned in our environment because of what the entertainment provided. So if we didn't have Disney with the princess syndrome or the sci-fi syndrome or Star Wars trilogy, then where would our mind think of these things that we're seeing? Every time we see like the pandemic, we see the movies that we have seen before. Oh my gosh, it's just like that movie, you know, Blade Runner or Slogan's Run. I mean, think about those different things that we didn't have. They didn't have anyone over 30. What happens to all the people over 30? Where do they go?
But you have to define that picture, the outcome is when you're looking at those pictures, like you have like somebody saying that they're a queen, and, you know, yes, we all believe that we're queens, right? But you can believe it, but you're not really
embracing
it. And I like what Nancy says, that, you know, you have to just go out there and make it happen. She doesn't want to pump the gas. Somebody else can do it. But if she had to do it, she can just go ahead and do it. No one can, she doesn't have to wait on someone. And we can empower ourselves and in order to empower ourselves, we got to believe that we can do it. We don't need anyone but ourselves.
Well, look at, I love it, Jennifer. Look at Vanessa. You know, you went through school, you love these books, and you said, I want to be, and you went through this migration, and we're going to have a podcast on Know the Rules of the Game, of going through the different journeys of how many jobs and how many years, and that belief that I'm going to do it. And in that process, you ended up, you're now going to get your PhD. You're in your last rows of the PhD to get that done. at the whole time, still just finding that path of believing it's going to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to have dedication and the mindset to make it happen and just move forward. You can't let it stop or determine you because we have a pandemic or I just got laid off.
Right.
Things happen in life that you can't control, but what you can control is how you're going to have that next page of your life, how that next chapter is going to play out. Is it going to be woe is me, or I'm going to move forward, I'm going to learn from this experience and be stronger as a leader, as a female, and just say, you know what, I'm moving forward. I've learned from this experience. I learned this. This was a great experience. And now I'm on to another journey of my life. Because we can't just sit back and be idle. We have to keep moving forward and making an impact to our community and our children and, you know, the other generations that we have to bring along for the journey with us. Because life is fleeting and we see this all the time, especially now with the pandemic. It's like, oh my God, somebody got sick and you're praying that everyone is going to be healthy, you know, because it's just, this pandemic really shook us to our core. And that's where that belief comes in, that faith comes in, and family and friends. It's just so critical.
Mm-hmm.
And also I think thank you. It's you got to get the mindset of the family to give the vibes to the person, because they may not be physically there. They could be in the hospital, to say, these are the things that I know that will help you, whether it's vitamins or a different way of mindset to help the mind get the body to reset. Because the difference, if you think about a heart attack, can you slow down your own heart so you don't go through that process, that one split second? And the same thing in the breathing of, you know, a lot of people, they found out when they were breathing on their stomach versus then on their backs, you know, to say that it was crushing the lungs. Knowing how to take care of a person and that goes through an illness is a difference of life and death. And that belief is knowledge to understand, and you feel the strength that you can get it done because your mind's working hard at that project, and that's the belief of life. So if we were to think about the belief of where we're going, a lot of us are mothers, a lot of us have you know, the struggles of the changing of how do we teach. Our experiences have never been a pandemic. We have never had to deal with the health issues that are going on. We've never had to deal with the digital stuff of never being able to hug, you know, and do we break that rule? Do we, like when we had the seatbelt change? How can we help our audience, and how can we help the communities, the 70 countries that follow us, to understand here in America the changes of how half of us are saying, yes, we're going to wear a mask, half of us are not, or half of us are going to be, you know, how do we navigate the differences in the world to believe that we can take care of ourselves and we can go through this if we all band together and help each other? So I'd like to open up to the floor and anyone jump in on that.
I can say that I think you have to take it one day at a time. I'm going to share something with everyone that don't spill your coffee when I say this. I look normal today, seriously, right? But I was blind 18 months ago.
Oh, wow.
This is why I wear glasses. If I take my glasses off, all you guys are like really fuzzy. I was normal before. I had no problem with my eyes. I went to bed at my cottage, and when I got up, I couldn't get up. I couldn't move my legs. Everything was black. I was blind. I had a stroke in the bed. No one was home. Okay. How do you communicate and get help when you decided to go down to the cottage by yourself and it's 4 a.m, you have no idea? I believe that I had to help myself. So I kept calling out to Siri. The phone, did you know that you should keep your phone next to you? Because Siri called the house for me and woke my husband up.
Wow.
So once the phone, he answered the phone at 4 a.m, he was like, what is wrong? Why are you calling me at 4 a.m? And I was saying, I'm blind, I can't move. You have to come get me. He thought I was kidding. I said, why would I call you at 4 a.m. to tell you that get me? I said, I'm not your girlfriend, I'm your wife. There's a problem. He didn't believe I had to throw the phone across the room and fell off the bed because I have a high bed at the cottage. And I couldn't move. And I had to like swirl and try to move the best way I could to get to the bathroom. I was trying to hold to get water on. I put it on my face. I was blind.
Wow. God.
Okay. And then you wonder, like, what the heck? So when you're blind, you know, like when we close our eyes, we can see like silver and grays. No, when you're blind, it's as dark as my hair. You can't see a thing. So after that, I realized that nothing was more important than for me to do what I wanted to do and love me. And I was going to see everything and do what was important to me, because I know why I had the stroke. I think I have it all. Okay. Because I'm not looking for a lot. And so what I have is love, and but I had a lot of work. I like just doing things. Okay. I was doing too much with the real estate. I was going overboard. There was just too many asset managers asking for things that and telling you why these are not being sold. They're not listening to the market, all that stuff. And I just took it to heart. And one morning, the body said, we're done. You have to make a decision. And I did. And then I realized I didn't need all that stuff. I'm having much more fun now. Now I wear glasses. I have to wear cute glasses. And,
You look great.
they have to be pretty. Yes. And I realized that you just have to know that everything is about you, and you have to define you, and your next move is all about you, not anybody else, what they're thinking or what they're saying, or, oh, you're not this or you don't have that. It's about you. Love you.
Wow.
I love it.
Yes, but I was blind.
It's amazing. And the fact that because you believed in yourself, you
Yes.
were able to help yourself, you were able to save yourself.
Yes.
You were able to overcome, and now you could see us. That's amazing.
Yeah, because the hospital stated that they were surprised that I didn't have any facial or anything that was wrong with me, that I had my legs back and everything was moving. But what did happen though, for 3 months, I would have a conversation with you, but it was a delay. Like I would look at your face, I know you, and we would be talking. So it would be very slow. I'd say, okay, Nancy, and you're waiting, like, okay, in the next minute or so, then I'll say, oh, are we going to go to lunch? So there was a delay, and because they said, because I was aware of it, that's what made me was able to be normal again, or else it could have damaged me.
So
Wow.
congratulations.
Amazing.
Make them try
Thank
to
you
be
for sharing that.
familiar with in your own surroundings, and they'll be fine. Because if you start ignoring it, it's going to be a problem.
The moral story of that, and oh my God, thank you
Yeah.
for sharing and going through it. But the idea is that you've got to prepare in case something happens, you know, single mothers, especially, you know,
Yes.
what is going to happen if the kids don't know how do you call, how do you know to go?
Yes.
You know, what happens in case, you know, medically you need to do emergency care to yourself versus in going to a hospital. You have to go back to basics of what we'd had 100 years ago. How do you take within yourself to make sure you go with it? And I know you need to jump, Nancy. Thank you. Appreciate. No, it's all good. We've got a couple minutes left, so thank you, Nancy.
I pass on my crown to all of you guys.
Yes. And believe, and make sure.
Yes.
Thank you.
Believe.
Believe.
So thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So in closing, you know, your picture just got huge, Vanessa.
Yes.
Wow, we've got this. I love it. So in the interest of closing, it's really about how we connect and share those kind of stories, because how many times we've had a conversation, Jennifer, and I never knew, but now it really sets why you're enjoying your moment. You had a life altering experience to say, this is that time to really embrace. But at the same time, it's teaching all of us that, you know, we know, okay, COVID, well, who's getting it, who's not, what life issues. And it's not just COVID, who gets in a car accident, who gets in an airplane. We have to be able to
Who get their bank account wiped out, right?
Well, and fraud's at an all-time high, and digitally mobilized banking is something so easy that you go, oh, picture my check and send it in, and the next day it's gone, and you have 2 hours to get on a call that no one will help you. So the idea is that at some point we have to own, you know, the old adage, I have, you know, keep money in your home just in case the banks are closed or there's a rainy day or someone wipes you out. You know, there's all these little tricks that we need to believe in ourselves. So hence the try. So in closing, one tip everyone would like to give on the subject of believe. Vanessa, start with you.
Have that inner self-belief that what the mind can achieve, you can achieve it. So believe in yourself and be authentic, and just also listen to your body, set boundaries, but just keep going, keep going.
I love it. Nina.
I think, I guess my advice to everybody is not only believe in yourself, but also take the steps to empower yourself in order to get to that goal that you want to get, right? And have that discipline, right? Because that's really what it takes. And don't give up. And also try to help others along the way as well, because your belief is something that you want to also share with others and help others believe as well. And hopefully that everyone that's watching here is finding the messages that we're sharing helpful, right? And not only their journey, but others' journeys.
Were you reading Patch the Torch for next month? Give opportunities to future generations of women. Your legacy will be the people you help advance along the journey. I mean, it was perfect. So thank you for advancing. That was excellent. Jennifer.
Well, don't forget the small gestures of kindness and integrity goes a long way, hand in hand.
I love it. And mine is be inspired.
And always believe.
There you go. Mine's
Life
about
is precious.
Life is so precious. The inspiration to get people to reframe, think about smile. When we smile, it's contagious. When you give someone inspiration, you give
it's
it
like throwing confetti.
And now we need it more than ever, because we're not going to live events. We're not going to sharing and hugging. That hug is what fills us warm and makes us go. So be inspirational, give compliments. And my most important thing is to really get you to feel the energy. And I believe music, as much as we can play it, to put you in the mindset that you can be focused on your environment, to continue your environment, and make sure you keep the noise out. Because if you're listening to what you want to listen to and not what else is someone feeding, and not strive for the negativity, strive for the positive and surround yourself, we all win.
Yeah, because it's the heart and soul of us.
All right. Well, thank you. Certified Delegate Spokeswomen. This is awesome. So next month it is again Pass the Torch. I'm Desiree Patno, and we're here to curate these principles to really make sure every day we keep the principles and we continue every day. So thank you all. Be blessed and have a great one. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.